Well, and that's still a weird, Chris, optical illusion a year later.
Ugh.
Even now when I watch that from the end zone view,
Yeah.
it looks like it hits the crossbar and bounces back and lands on the ground when it's actually hitting the net. I still see it now, and in my brain, it's hitting, bouncing back, and landing in the field, not going through and hitting the net.
Well, I think one of the best parts of the video is you catch Lions fans who I think it bounced the same way, where they're cheering because they think he missed it, and then you see the delayed reaction to go, oh no, wait, it bounced the other way and went in. That was one of the most unbelievable moments ever. That really was, and that they were truly like the cardiac kids there early in the year, the Baltimore Ravens, and he is phenomenal. He's the greatest kicker I've ever seen. That's all I'll say in my lifetime of football. I know you've been around longer than I have, but I've never seen such a guy so automatic and so explosive at the same time with his right leg. He's a weapon for this football team.
We were talking after the show yesterday about the shift from the straight-on toe kick to the soccer style, as they called it derisively in the early 70s. The Europeans were invading and taking the sport over, at least displacing all the Lou Groza's straight-on toe kickers. But it's more accurate, more strength, and we just keep seeing the kicks get longer and longer. Chris, when I was a kid, a 40-yard field goal was impressive.
Right.
And then at some point, 50 became... Wow, 50. You're really 50? You've been drinking?
Yeah.
And now it's like
50's automatic.
No big deal.
Right.
50's no big deal. 50's not even impressive anymore.
No.
You impress me when you get to 55, 56, 57, 60. You want to impress me, you kick a 60-yarder. I mean, you got safeties kicking 65-yarders in practice, for crying out loud. So I think it's just a matter of time before somebody hits from 70. And I agree, Justin Tucker is the best kicker that I've seen for a career.
Right.
I know Adam Vinatieri has
Clutch
more
as hell.
clutch kicks because he's had more opportunities to have the clutch kick. The kicker is kind of limited by, the rest of the team.
Right.
The kicker comes in when it's otherwise set up, and then the question is, does he deliver or not? I tend to think that Justin Tucker would have been able to deliver in the same spots
Agreed.
that Adam Vinatieri did. And Vinatieri's going to get a bronze bust for his exploits, and Tucker will too for different reasons. It's a sustained greatness that really, from the first moment we became aware of him, it has never wavered. Other than, remember he had a weird missed extra point against the Saints one year?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, Justin Tucker? That never happens.
Right.
That's the only time it ever happened.
Yeah, it's the only time I ever remember going, wait, he didn't deliver right there? What? You're right. What happened? He was automatic to that point. But there's such a comfort and confidence he can bring to your football team at the end of a game just because of, hey, we don't have to drive the length of the field. I mean, if you remember that drive, they were backed up with a big fourth down, and Lamar made a great, I think it was 4th and 17 or 19, or it might have been 4th and 25, and he hits the deep crosser across the field, and you get close to midfield, and you start to go, whoa, we're at midfield. Few more yards, and we're in Justin Tuck range. And that takes great pressure off an offense and gives a team confidence that way. He's amazing. He really is, and it's nice to see that they've rewarded him.
It's funny, I do the Madden Ultimate Team every year, and of course I'm getting close to the point where the team that I have gradually built that kicks ass and takes names is going to be reset to 59 across the board. But once you get that Justin Tucker kicker, you're right. You're getting points. You cross the 50, you're in field goal range.
Yes.
That is a huge benefit for the Ravens offense. They're getting three. They're getting three a lot more easily than other teams. And speaking of three, the Cowboys brought in 3 kickers yesterday for tryouts. I mean, you either have Justin Tucker or you don't. And most teams don't. And the Ravens were wise to keep him. Here's why we're even talking about it. They signed him to a contract extension yesterday. Justin Tucker meeting with reporters to talk about how quickly his new record deal, $6 million per year, came together.
This did come together quickly. I joked to Harbs one day out at practice. We were just kind of generally talking about the idea. I said, I think something could get done in 5 minutes. And sure enough, it took about 5 minutes. I mean, the way that Nick Mateo, Eric DaCosta, the way that everybody upstairs handled the process was, it was just really, really good. What was and continues to be most important to me is, just being in the plans for building a championship, and feeling valued as a part of that process. So, listen, this deal for sure checks all the boxes for me. And for all intents and purposes, this is the type of deal that will, more than ensure that I will, be a Raven for life. And, for that alone, I couldn't be more happy.
I recall Justin Tucker had a contentious negotiation with the Ravens the last time around. He was franchise tagged. It didn't look good. Then it finally worked. And you know what? I frankly think that now, I don't want to psychoanalyze the situation, but Justin Tucker does have an agent. And I think the Ravens were so happy to have a break from the Lamar Jackson morass and actually have an agent to negotiate with. It did take 5 minutes. And look, Chris Boswell just got a contract last week that pays him $5 million a year.
Exactly right.
Boom. Okay, Boswell 5, Tucker 6.
Right.
It's a lot of money for Tucker, and it's a steal for the Ravens. Pete was making the point during the break, and look, kickers are kickers, all due respect, but this guy's the best one. I think he's undersold at 6. I agree with Pete on this. I think he should be getting more than $6 million a year. I think he's that good. He helps your team that much that he does have a greater value. Because, you can get some other kicker for a lot less, but he ain't going to be Justin Tucker, and it's going to change the dynamic of your team.
100% it will. We've seen in our lifetime teams that are Super Bowl teams who can't get there or can't win playoff games just because the kicker's not good. There's been plenty throughout history where you go, man, the team is a Super Bowl team, but they lost these 3 or 4 games because the kicker missed a chip shot field goal or missed a game winner that was pretty makeable, and now they're a
39-yard field goal missed after not missing any all year long.
Exactly.
Like
well, I was just about to go 1998 Vikings. I know. I was just about to go there. I'm glad. But, there's been a few instances of that where maybe it didn't even come down to the championship game, but it led to a team they're only in the wild card round. And now, it's an uphill battle from there. Or they just missed out on the playoffs because they missed 2 or 3 games that way. There's great value there. And, the deal definitely got done because of Boswell. This is one of those where it is so obvious that he's the best that I'm sure they felt a little uncomfortable almost, the fact that they were like, wait, somebody surpassed him? Like, this guy is on another level from the rest of the league. And I don't think anybody's really going to argue that. So good for them to do that. And you're right. I wouldn't have been – he's getting 6. Boswell's getting 5. That's a 20% increase. But he probably is worth more than that. I wouldn't have been mad if he was getting 7 and Boswell got 5. I think he is that great. I'm with you and Pete on that one.
Next on the list is Falcons kicker Younghoe Koo at $4.85 million per year. And
Jersey guy.
Kickers are making a lot more than they've ever made, but they still don't get a big piece of the salary cap. I mean, $6 million is underpaid. It really is for Justin Tucker. The Ravens should be very happy, and Tucker gets a new deal with 2 years left on his last one. That's great, but he's still more valuable to the Ravens than that contract would suggest. So, but hey, if he's happy with it, right?
Yeah.
It's a win-win. If the player's happy, that's all that matters. And he got more money than he otherwise would have gotten, so he can be happy.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.